Okay, I'm so sorry, Megan, that my other video got cut off. I accidentally hit the stop button while I was trying to write. So I'm going to pick it back up where we left off. It was we had done the substitution with whole numbers of a system of equations, and we had done solving of x and y with fractions, and then now we're going to do decimals. And remember, a decimal is like a fraction. It's just in decimal format, and it looks a little different, but if you think of it as a fraction, then sometimes it helps a little bit. So here's our new system that we're going to solve for x and y with. It's 1 1/2 x positive half y equals 78 1/2. And then we have x plus y equals 87. So remember that step 1 is to take the easiest equation from the system and solve for y. And so we are going to take x positive y equals 87. We need to get this x and group it over to the other side of the equation. So we're going to take negative x, because that's the opposite of positive x, and negative x, that gives us y equals negative x positive 87. And so now we have a new equation. Now, it shouldn't make any difference if you were to say 87 negative x. So that should still work out, but this is just how I wrote it today. And so it shouldn't make a difference if you were to write it a different way next time. So step 2, remember step 2, we're going to substitute. Remember, this is substitution. Okay, we're going to substitute what we found for for y into the y value right there. So 1 1/2 x positive half multiplied by a negative x positive 87, and it's going to equal 78 1/2. Okay, so now we got to solve for this. We have 1 1/2 x plus, this is half times negative x. Now this is a negative 1x. So this will become, this whole thing will become a, excuse me, I don't know why I put positive there already. I'm getting ahead of myself. This will become a negative half x. And then positive, and half of 87, positive 43 1/2. Because you're taking a half and multiplying by 87. So really it's half of 87, which is 43 1/2, equals 78 1/2. Okay, so then now we need to take these and we need to combine them. So you have 1 1/2 x negative half x, and this just becomes, well, kind of cool, it just becomes x. And now we can do what we equals, but here's where it equals. We do negative 43 1/2 to the negative 43 1/2. So essentially we're saying positive 78 1/2, negative 43 1/2, and it should come out to 35. So now we have x equals 35. Now we know for sure x equals 35. And so if we were to plug in 35 anywhere up here in our system of equations, it would come out accurately. Okay, so that was this is step 1, and that was step 2. Okay, now we're going to step 3. And step 3 is where we solve for y. And so I take this y equation, I move it over. So we have y equals negative x plus 87. Okay, and so like I told you, it could have worked out the same. Okay, put this in parentheses. If you said 87 negative x, okay, it should have been able to work out the same if you would have written that, because if you would have done, and I'll show you that in a minute, we have 87 negative x, it should work out the same, because all we have to do is go y equals, and then this is a positive 35, but this is a negative x, so negative 35 positive 87, y equals 52. But it should have worked out the same here. So if you did y equals 87, negative 35, still should be 52. So we now know y is 52. So now we're going to check our work. We're going to take our first equation and we're going to say x plus y equals 87. So we're going to say x is 35, y is 52, and it should be 87, and that works out perfectly. And then we're going to say 1.5 multiplied by 35 plus half multiplied by 52 equals 78.50. Okay, so then we are 50 hundredths or 5 tenths. So we're going to see if this works out. 1/2 of 35 is 7. So 1/2, 1 and 1/2 goes into this. 17. Oh. No, that can't be right. I'm getting a little lost in translation here. Hold on. So 1.5 multiplied by 35. Even Mrs. Spofford has to slow down a minute. 5, 2, 7, 0, 5, 1, 4, 0, 5, 2, 5, and we're going to move it over twice. It's 52.50 plus half of 52. That one should be easy. So basically dividing by 2 would be 2 goes into 5 twice, and then 6. And so this should work out to 78.50, which is 78.5. So we checked it. And I'm sorry about my flubble jubble here, but there you go. And so now you know 3 different ways to solve substitution, your system of equations. Okay, so you have a system of equations, and you're solving for x and y. X and y. Now remember, x is your vertical, and y is your, x is your horizontal, and y is your vertical. I'm fixing to confuse you even more. I'm so sorry. Anyways, I hope this helps. If you need more help, let me know on substitution.